So before we get into the race, let's take a quick look at the grid ahead of the British Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton once again takes pole position ahead of the Ferrari of Kimi Räikkönen, who lines up on the front row behind him. P3 once again goes to Sebastian Vettel, and P4 goes to Valtteri Bottas, one of his best qualifying sessions of his entire season. P5 goes to Daniel Ricciardo, and alongside him lines up his teammate Max Verstappen in P6. Felipe Massa out-qualifying his teammate to line up P7 ahead of the Renault of Nico Hülkenberg in P8. Esteban Ocon in P9, followed by Kevin Magnussen, who broke into the top 10 in Q3 after a great setup here at Austria. P11 goes to Sergio Perez, alongside Daniel Kvyat in the Toro Rosso, and behind him is his teammate Carlos Sainz. Lance Stroll, with a disappointing qualifying session, lines up way off the pace of his teammate in P14. Jolyon Palmer lines up P15 alongside ourselves in P16. The two McLaren Hondas of Fernando Alonso and Stoffel van Dorn line up P17 and 18, and the two Saubers of Marcus Ericsson and Pascal Wehrlein round off the grid. So that's it for the grid. Now it's over to the race. Hi guys, and welcome back to F1 2017 Career Mode. We are here at round number 10, the halfway point of the season, in a kind of weird kind of start to the race because it's raining and we're on slicks. So this is going to be quite an interesting start. I can see a lot of crashes happen. That's just a theory, but you know, the weather for the race, in fact, is going to start off rainy and then it's going to go to dry conditions, so it's going to be a little bit weird. Interchangeable conditions have been one of our best ways to score high up the field, so really anything that has been from dry to wet or wet to dry or whatever. Just look at China, for example. That is a track where we benefited a lot, and I think we can benefit today as well. I'll just love these types of races because I know we can just get off the point. We can get up into the top kind of tiers. Possibly a podium is on the cards. Maybe a little bit far-fetched, but you know, it's possible. But with our strategy, we're going on to the super soft and then the soft tyre at the end, and underfueling the car as well to kind of make the car a little bit faster off the start, which is what we need, and also to kind of put more emphasis on the energy store and not the MGU-K or the engine or the MGU-H by using rich mix constantly. So by using lean, we'll be able to save 1, the engine, 2, any other components affected by kind of high revs and stuff, which is the engine, the MGU-H, and so on. Okay, so Jeff has just come over the radio. 10 minutes of rain. This is typical British weather, everyone. This is typical. But only 10 minutes of it, so we're looking, I don't even know, it won't be 10 laps, it'll probably be about 5 laps of rain before it starts to dry up. Whether or not it's going to take another 5 laps for it to dry is another thing. That's the thing, drying tracks on this game are a lot longer this year, and the conditions are a lot harder to detect. But we'll do our best off the start. It's kind of a little bit risky down here. I'm just trying to warm the tyres up. Going through, I think this is Village, I hope I'm right. I'm probably wrong actually. Anyways, we're going to the start phase of this race. So our tyres kind of are a little bit warmed up. So what this will mean is that we'll have a decent start, but you know, there's barely any grip anywhere on the start, so this is going to be fun. We've got Stroll, we've got Sainz, Perez, Kvyat ahead of us. We can beat those cars. But let's go to the start of the British GP. 5 red lights, and we are off. Getting a good start there. As you can see on the left of the picture, we are going into the middle. Right there, and trying to go round the outside of turn 1. Let's see if we can take advantage. Yes, we do. With Toro Rosso and Williams get tangled up. Perez, I think that's Perez ahead of us. And maybe Sainz or Kvyat, I'm not too sure. But down the inside of those two. And we go side by side with our teammate. A Force India goes a little bit wide, a little bit skatey as well, and we get round them, and we're just behind Nico Hülkenberg, who, in fact, through that corner, I was literally right on the back of him. But this is going to be fun. Down Wellington Straight. Let's see if we can make a move right here. Maybe take it to the inside. Yes, we do take it to the inside. Hold it to the inside. And there we go. We have the move done. All before the hairpin. That's fantastic. Lap 2, P8. Not too bad for a start, actually. From P16 to P8. That's 8 positions. What a start that is. One of the best, in fact. But yeah, we're just on the back of Felipe Massa. I seem to get a lot of traction, especially through this little section here. As you can see right now, I'm gaining quite a lot of Massa. So we're going to see if we can make a move similar to what we did to Hulkenberg. So down Wellington Straight. Let's go to the inside now. Brake slowly. Hopefully don't skid it. Massa turns into me. I go a little bit sideways and a bit of drifting as well. But then Massa takes the place back. So we'll stick with him now. And in fact, we might have to make a move on him pretty soon because he's holding me up. I'm obviously faster. But as we can see at this lovely shot right here. Go to the inside. Down the inside of Felipe Massa through Cops. What a move. We push him out to the edge and gain P. Well, that was P7. But now we've gone into lap 12, a long way into this race. And in fact, the conditions have pretty much stopped raining. So that obviously makes sense. Conditions stopped raining. Yeah, well done. So the track's pretty much dry. We're the last ones out on super softs. And in fact, we're the last car out on track before pit stops anyway. But yeah, I think Vettel and Hamilton may be on the same strategy as me. I know Hamilton's going very early onto the medium, so I don't think he's going to go all the way to the end. He's probably going to use the super softs at the end though. I mean, it's lap 12, they could theoretically go all the way at the end, knowing Mercedes. But Vettel is going to be on the same strategy as me. But then I didn't come into the pits on the last lap, so on lap 13 I'm coming in. That was a little bit of a stupid decision because now Vettel was closer to me than what he was like a lap ago. So we've lost a little bit of time to Vettel. He's in first now, so we're probably not going to catch him, to be fair. So we'll see where we come out in the pit stops. Hopefully it's not at the back end of the points. This will be detrimental if it is. Let's go into the pit stops to fit on the soft tyre to go all the way to the end of this race. Now, this race has been very uneventful because it's just me kind of faster than the rest of the midfield pack. Normally in races like this, that's what happens. I'm pretty much faster than the other mid-pack teams, but not fast enough to get to the top teams. But we are in P9 now. And Marcus Ericsson is in P10, so whether or not he has stayed on those tyres forever since the beginning is another thing. But Perez and Vettel are going to have a little battle, and in fact I think Vettel just got past Perez there. So he's slightly been held up, and he's obviously made another stop because he was in the lead to start with. But yeah, we're going to get the DRS on Perez, so now it's dry conditions, DRS is enabled. We're going to try and maybe look into this corner, but obviously we can't. And we're going to have to back out for this corner here. And we're just right on the back of him there. And we just need to get a good exit. Get the slipstream a little bit weird on the exit. Nonetheless, a better exit than what Perez had. So let's go to the inside. Right for Cops. And we back out because Perez had the line. So we'll see what we can do into this little section here. Maggott and Beckett. Let's see if we can catch up to him. In fact, I can just course through here. That's how I started to save some of my fuel. But then we get a really good second phase of that corner there. And onto Hanger Straight. We're right on the back of Perez. We've got the DRS open. He pulls to the inside to break the slipstream, pushing me out. Naughty Perez. And we're going to go around the outside and perhaps just fend him off just for P6. And Perez pulls into the pit lane. So that was kind of a bit of a pointless move in a way, because he was going into the pits anyway. I mean, any longer that battle would have gone on, that would have held me up quite significantly. 3.5 seconds to Vettel, and we didn't see him for the rest of this race. We cut onto the final lap of the race. We're in P5, and Max Verstappen is in P4, but it's been a boring race, let's put it that way. Not much happened. That was the nature of this race. It definitely didn't happen like this before when I did F1 2016, but unfortunately this time it's going to be a little bit of a boring race. A couple of good moves here and there, but you know, P5 is a good result. We'll take it.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
And here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here, as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Mercedes, then, are on top today. Take a look at the driver's standing.
Unfortunately, this race was kind of a bit boring, but you know what? We'll take 10 points at the end of this race. 10 points, and I think we are driver of the day, and yes we are. As always, pretty much. But Bottas there, shock result, 16th place. And also Kevin Magnussen broke into the points, so now we have 11 points for Haas. We're P8 in the Drivers' Championship, and Magnussen is in 13th. We're not too far behind Felipe Massa, so hopefully we can get some more points to outscore him the next time. Both the Saubers and, of course, Van Dorn, the only non-point scorers of this championship. And Fernando Alonso is just like on 1 point there in 17th. Not too bad, still better than his teammate. But yeah, the top of the championship is 22 points from Raikkonen to Hamilton, and the only change really is Renault moves up to 7th in the constructors there, just 1 point ahead. So we get 125 resource points from that session. We also gain more on our rival Hulkenberg, and also we gain some more rep from Ferrari especially. But then we have now an invitational, and we're going to be doing the USA short in the 2004 Ferrari F2004, which is fantastic. I was debating whether or not to do the McLaren, but since it's on the USA short circuit with the Ferrari, I thought we'd just have a look at that, because we've been to China before, we've seen that. So if you're unfamiliar with the format of these type of races, this is a pursuit. Basically all the cars ahead of me get a head start, and I have to chase them down in a much faster car. They'll be in like Williams cars from like 90, I think it's a 92. I don't know. Just like really old cars, and I have to chase them down in this very, very, very fast Ferrari. In fact, the fastest classic car in the game. And these are completely different to the 2017 cars, because they can chuck them into any corner, and they'll possibly go in there, and you may spin off because the engines are so much more powerful. It's ridiculous. And also on the exits, you kind of get a little bit sideways, as I do there a little bit. Trying to go up the inside of the first car, I have to overtake pretty much all of them to pass the challenge in 3 laps. This might be a little bit of a task, but we can do it, I believe. And we just go for a little spin right there. I had to retry that, because otherwise I wouldn't have actually done anything. But we try to go up the inside of the car ahead, and yeah, we just ram into the back of them. Nearly come a cropper again, and nearly collide with them, and there we go. We managed to get past them eventually, but then we've got to chase down another 4 cars now. So this will be a task through that section, by the way. You can literally go flat out and full right lock. It's amazing. The amount of downforce this has is a little bit unbelievable. It's very, very sharp as well with response, so it's not like the 2017 cars by any means. And we overtake another car for P4, and we've got another 3 cars to overtake. So we've got I don't know if that's a Williams up ahead. I think it might be. But this little short circuit here is a little bit different, because like after this S section you've got like a weird little chicane like here, and normally in the real life race you would go straight on, and that'll lead you onto the big massive straight. At this point we're coming to the end of it, but we go around the outside here, and we just about lose P3 again, but then re-overtake, and at this point I did lose my rhythm slightly, so we had to kind of chase down another 2 cars despite that little setback that we had, but it's going to be on the final lap where all of this is going to happen. So we're going to try and close down the car ahead. We've got it in rich mix, of course. We're pretty much overfueled by a long way on this. So we can perhaps overtake this Williams car. Now, let's see if we can do it into the S section, because the S section is pretty good for this, but I try to possibly look for a move. I had to literally cut off track there, otherwise I would have probably crashed into them. And saying that, I do that anyway. And then we go up the inside, and then we cut across the chicane here, right where the back straight is now, so pretty much the end of the long straight. We've got to try and overtake P1 in the span of about a couple of corners. So can we actually do it? Because this is going to be a little bit difficult. I'm sliding around all over the place, but I actually get this corner right for once, and the exit is pretty much spot on, so we can possibly do what I said earlier, is full throttle right there, and we're going to go down the inside, just nip to the inside there. And we have taken P1, so we've pretty much completed this challenge. What a challenge. That was pretty much a very hard challenge, despite my setbacks that I had. So yeah, that's the Ferrari for you. That's amazing. The Ferrari is so amazing. It sounds really, really good. But we've got an R&D event.
Hi, everything okay? Do remember to let us know which areas of the car you'd like us to develop using the laptop.
Well, I was going to make an upgrade, Chris, but you know, the invitational event kind of screwed me over and jumped me to the next race weekend. So that's a little bit of an annoyance then, a little bit of a setback, but nonetheless we will actually upgrade. We're going to go to the chassis now, and we're going to purchase the central under tray weight reduction element there. So that's going to be done, hopefully, for Belgium at the most crucial track for that. Pretty much despite, you know, kind of being an engine track, I think that this will be pretty much that. But that's going to be it from me, and I shall see you all next time.